Hello, and thank you for joining this lesson on simple conversations about pets. In today's video, we will explore how to talk about our furry, feathered, or scaly friends in English. Talking about pets is a fun way to practice everyday vocabulary and natural phrases. As we go through this chapter, you will hear key words and expressions that you can use to describe your own pet or ask someone about theirs. First, let's think about why pets matter in conversation. Pets bring us joy, comfort, and sometimes even a little mischief. When you share a story about your pet, you invite your listener into your world. You build connection by asking questions like, "What do you feed your cat?" or "How long have you had your dog?" In this lesson, you will learn phrases for naming pets, talking about their habits, and sharing little stories. You will hear each phrase more than once and in different contexts, so you feel confident using them later. Next, we will introduce some of the most helpful expressions. You will hear words such as take care of, play with, and feed in our conversations. We will also repeat these phrases in slightly different ways. For example, we might say, "I take my dog for a walk every evening," and then, "Every night I walk my dog around the park." By hearing these variations, you will see how flexible English can be. Keep these phrases in mind, because they will appear again in chapters 2 and 3. By the end of this introduction, you will be ready to listen to a natural dialogue between two friends talking about their pets. Pay attention to how they ask questions, respond kindly, and share small details about their pets' personalities. Let these expressions sink in, and get ready for our main conversation in the next chapter. Whenever you're ready, let's move on to hear a friendly chat about cats, dogs, and all kinds of pets. In the last chapter, we learned why talking about pets can help us practice English, and we heard key phrases like take care of, play with, and feed. Now, let us listen to two friends as they have a gentle, natural conversation about their pets. Pay close attention to how they ask questions, share small details, and repeat our key phrases in different ways. Maria begins by asking about Tom's dog. She says, "How do you take care of your dog every day?" Tom smiles and replies, "I take care of Buddy by feeding him twice a day. In the morning, I feed him his dry food, and in the evening, I feed him wet food." By saying I feed him twice a day, and then I feed him his dry food in the morning, Tom shows us two ways to use feed in a sentence. These small changes help you see how flexible these phrases are. Next, Maria asks, "What games do you play with Buddy?" Tom answers, "We play fetch in the park. Every afternoon, I take Buddy to the park and throw a ball. Then, Buddy runs to catch it and brings it back to me." Notice how Tom repeats play fetch and throw a ball to explain the same idea in different words. He also uses our phrase take Buddy to the park, which is another way to say take care of through an activity. Maria then shares about her cat, Lily. She says, "I also take care of my cat by brushing her fur. Lily loves it when I brush her with a soft brush." Here, Maria uses take care of again, but in a new way. Grooming. Later she says, "Every evening, I brush Lily for 5 minutes. By hearing both, I brush Lily and I brush her for 5 minutes, you learn how to repeat an action with a time detail." Tom listens and then asks, "Does Lily play with any toys?" Maria replies, "Yes, Lily loves to play with a small mouse toy. She bats it with her paws and chases it around the room." You hear play with again, paired with bat and chase, which are verbs you can use when talking about how pets move and have fun. Then she says, "In the afternoon, Lily chases her toy for about 10 minutes. By adding the time about 10 minutes, Maria gives more detail but still uses the same core phrase play with. After that, Tom asks, "How often do you feed Lily?" Maria answers, "I feed her 3 times a day, once in the morning, once at lunchtime, and once in the evening." Here, Maria repeats feed her and then breaks it down. Once in the morning, once at lunchtime, and once in the evening. This repetition in different forms helps you remember the structure for asking and answering questions about feeding. Before we move on to Chapter 3, notice how our friends use the same three key phrases, take care of, play with, and feed, in different parts of their conversation. They repeat these phrases and add small details like time or place, so the conversation stays natural and clear. In the next chapter, we will focus on short, focused examples about specific pet topics, and you will hear these phrases again in fresh ways to build your confidence. Building on our friends' conversation, let's explore 3 short scenes that focus on specific pet topics. First, imagine a conversation about feeding treats. Sarah says to Alex, "When do you give your puppy treats?" Alex replies, "I give him a small treat after he learns a new trick." Then Alex repeats, "Every time he sits or stays, I feed him one treat." By hearing "give a treat" and "feed him one treat," you learn 2 ways to talk about rewarding a pet. You also see how adding "after he learns a new trick" gives more detail and sounds natural. Next, we move to playing games indoors. In this scene, Sarah asks, "How do you play with your cat when you're inside?" Alex answers, "I dangle a string toy for 5 minutes, and my cat bats at it excitedly." Then Alex says again, "At night I use a flashlight to play chase on the wall." You hear "play with" paired with "string toy" and "play chase," showing that "play with" can describe many fun activities. By repeating "play" and "bat" in different ways, you become confident using these verbs in English. Finally, let's discuss visiting the vet. Sarah wonders, "How often do you take your rabbit to the vet?" Alex explains, "I take Coco to the vet once a year for a checkup." Then Alex adds, "Each spring, I bring her for a health check." Through "take to the vet" and "bring her for a health check," you see 2 ways to use "take care of" in a more formal context. Repeating the idea with "once a year" and "each spring" helps you practice telling time in English while caring for a pet. In these examples, we used our key phrases feed, play with, and take care of in focused mini-scenes. We repeated each phrase in slightly different contexts, feeding treats, playing indoors, and visiting the vet. So you hear how flexible these expressions can be. Keep these variations in mind when you speak about your own pet. In the next chapter, we will wrap up our lesson with a warm conclusion and remind you of the most important phrases to practice every day. In our lesson, we explored many ways to talk about pets by using the phrases take care of, play with, and feed in different contexts. You heard a friendly conversation between Tom and Maria about feeding Buddy and brushing Lily, as well as 3 focused scenes on giving treats, playing indoors, and visiting the vet. By repeating each expression in various ways, like feed him twice a day and give him one treat after he learns a new trick, or take Coco to the vet once a year and bring her for a health check, you've seen how flexible English can be when talking about animals. Remember that take care of can describe walking your dog, brushing your cat, or taking your rabbit for a checkup. Play with works for fetch in the park, string toys indoors, or even chasing a flashlight beam. And feed covers everything from regular meals to special treats. When you speak, try swapping these phrases into your own sentences. For example, you might say, "I take care of my hamster by giving her fresh water every morning," or "I love to play with my parrot using a colorful ring." As you practice, you will feel more confident asking questions and sharing stories about your pet. You can start by asking a friend, "How often do you feed your pet?" or telling someone, "I play with my dog for 30 minutes every evening." Mixing these phrases with small time or place details makes your English sound natural and friendly. Thank you for learning with me today. Keep practicing these key expressions by talking about your own pet or even imagining one. The more you use take care of, play with, and feed, the more they will become part of your everyday English. Practice every day, and soon you'll speak about pets with ease and joy.